Hello there. This is Alan Knox, aka Zeth Bro, here to talk about Lelouch v. Britannia on his place on Heroes and Villains Wiki. I haven't looked up his what type of hero and villain he is, or type of anti-hero, if you want to go into further detail. But from what I've looked up, hold on, let me just check. I'm curious. What is his actual type? I'm gonna look it up. Lelouch Heroes Wiki. Let's look him up. Look up Lelouch here. It's taking forever. Come on. Lelouch v. Britannia. Where is it? Okay. Type of hero, Byronic hero. Byronic hero, honorable extremist, military strategist, and scapegoat. So he is, I think Villains Wiki is a bit more strict over how much you can have, per se, on what type of hero or anti-hero or anti-villain or villain or type of organization to have. I think they only have it for like one specific thing, not like two things. Though they might have done that before in the past, but when it comes to like Villains Wiki, but that was probably a while ago when they did that. So let's see what he is on Villains Wiki. See what he is. Type of villain, extremist. Now, I don't know for sure where Lelouch would be categorized to be just like an evil villain, because you could make a stronger argument of him not being like him being removed off of Villains Wiki than Light Yagami. Now, what I didn't know about Light Yagami is that he was what I mislooked is that Light Yagami, I think, was classified to be pure evil. I didn't know that. I mislooked that. I misread that. I apologize for that. But the thing is, when it comes to Lelouch, about him being like an extremist and all, I wasn't sure what made him like an evil type of person or type of character, because he's not like sadistic in anything. I mean, he does like get real excited, but I think when it comes to that, I don't know. He doesn't come across as like this corrupt individual like Light was, like this easily corrupt individual. He does seem to have a sense of respect for others, especially for not just his sister, but for people around him. And he wasn't even though he was claimed to be a backstabber or a double crosser, he didn't really do that. He wasn't that kind of guy. Now, I wouldn't say he's like all good or just some righteous hero, but I wouldn't say he's like this evil, like he was this guy with this bastard tendency, except for maybe when he was laughing at one point. There are a few, some inconsistent character traits, like as if when he hated like Rollo and wanted to kill Rollo for killing Shirley. I understood, it's rightfully so. Like, he killed Shirley, and so, and then when Rollo died, he just felt sympathetic. Like, it could have been, it's not to say he wouldn't have felt that way. I just felt as if they could have done that better. That could have been developed better with how he reacted to Rollo when Rollo died. Like, if he did feel that way, feel sympathetic and feel sad for Rollo, I felt as if they could have handled that better after Rollo killed Shirley. Like, as if when he sees the horrible things, but he doesn't entirely forgive Rollo. I think because when it comes to like Rollo's death, it just comes across to me like as if they just forgot that Rollo killed his girlfriend. Also, one thing that really like Lelouch is to me despite the fact that there are inconsistencies to Lelouch's character, there have been inconsistencies. the thing about him, and the one thing that does remain consistent, unlike Light, or I wouldn't say consistent, I would say more logical, is he does not become evil in a switch. And a lot of things when it comes to the horrible things of like Britannia, he when he sees all that, he doesn't he understands the example that Britannia is pretty much a bastard nation in a way per se. So it's not really a good place. And by him ruling it, he wants to like correct that, make sure his sister doesn't get involved in these horrible messes, despite the fact that she's right at the center of it, and that's where it goes for Lelouch there. And like there's a lot of interesting things about that. He you could tell that they did not want to automatically just make him evil. They want to make him more complicated, and then that they wanted to make him more in between or somewhere along the lines of that. Unlike Light Yagami, who just became evil in a switch, and who just became like evil just because of writing things, like just so easily too. I don't know if Lelouch would have been that way if he took the death note, but he was more. He had more respect for that. He had more of a limitation to himself than doing that. And I would say, and not everything he did was selfish. There are a lot of things, when it comes to how he reacts to his family, to some of them, not all of them, but to like his sister, I buy it more to be genuine, much more in comparison to Light's reaction to his father's death. Far much more. I find it or Shirley's death, his girlfriend. I found that much more believable of a genuine reaction of how he reacted to it than how Light reacted to Sergio's death. I found it far much more genuine. Because Lelouch wasn't as crazy as Light was, and didn't have like that ego sense of himself, and I understood why they used the villain proposal on the pure evil for Light, despite the fact that the creator is trying to make it as if there's a sympathetic side to him, which is a whole lot of horse crap. Oba's biggest mistake was thinking that he was writing a character that has some sympathetic qualities, when pretty much all that we've seen from Light, except from that reaction to his father's death, is just nothing more than just him becoming like having a maniacal, malicious, and grin to all of his own perfectionness when it's all ugly inside. Lelouch didn't come across like that to me, but you could tell there were some things about how he was raised, or how he was conditioned to, of how much hatred he had for Britannia. You could tell he had a lot of hatred going on, and that he wasn't like a big fan of him. Is that a snake in front of me? Staying the hell away from that. The thing is, though, is that Lelouch there's a lot of interesting things to cover from him about his relationship with a lot of the other characters, and how it impacts. But the thing is about Lelouch, the difference between Lelouch and Light Yagami is that how Lelouch treats his comrades is nowhere near as selfish as Light's is. And that's not to say he hasn't done it. I don't remember about any selfish things. I don't remember specifically in details, but in comparison to Light, it's far much less selfish, in my opinion, in comparison. But I just don't remember in detail. But in general, I would say yes. But like I said, there's a lot of interesting things to cover, like with his relationship with Suzaku and all this other stuff about where he would qualify. It's, for me, when it comes to Lelouch, it seems more so like as if it's just a bad situation and what he has to deal with but it doesn't ultimately make him just this tragedy of an evil, complete monster. It's because of other situations he was in, like fix his sister or his friends. He's not completely just into that type of scenario, that nutshell. He's been around a huge chunk of it, but he's not entirely in that nutshell. There's still things that give him more of a motivation to continue on and not be like a monster like his parents are. But there's, like I said, there's some interesting things about the cover from Lelouch, like why isn't he British? It's Lelouch v. Britannia, for God's sakes. Britannia, like that. So what? Why? Why isn't he British? For goodness sakes, this doesn't make any sense. He should be British. British. He should have a British accent. I mean, it's not to say Johnny Bosch, if that's his name, is a bad actor, but he should have performed a British accent. So that's just how I feel about that. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. He's like the heir, for God's sakes. But back to what I'm saying. Some other things I'm trying to think of. Some other things. Trying to travel in my mind. What else I'm trying to think about? Oh yes! Now I remember. Now I remember. Okay. This was before the Code Geass Wiki edited this, but back then, I mean, this was just a wonderful thing, okay? I don't know why they did this, but apparently they were, in truth, may have been wrong in the past, which is why they had to re-edit it, or why they had to edit it, make that change. On the tablet, it lists the ages of Code Geass characters. And it said Lelouch was born in December 2000. Most, like 90% of, like over 90% or over 95% of all the other characters in Code Geass were born previous to that. That would mean Colin, who was born in like March 2000, was already born, and Lelouch was just conceived. He was just a tiny little dot. Just a tiny little microscopic organism. And that tiny little microscopic organism ruled over her. But that tiny little microscopic organism was so helpless, and she was infinitely before him, and infinitely larger because he was non-existent when she first existed. And she was like, ooh! She was like, Colin was just way much stronger than him, way much powerful, so much more powerful. He never stood a chance, only his intellect. And she's under the whim of something that she was infinite before him. Okay? Infinitely larger before he even existed. And that's the same for Suzaku and Shirley and Cece. They were all older than him on this wiki. I remember, I could have sworn they did that before, but they changed it because apparently it wasn't the official thing. And it breaks my heart that it wasn't, because it's just amazing just how something like him just tried to live up to them, just try to, this little tiny little microscopic existence, this little thing that everyone is just so, is far beyond. The thing is, when it comes to those romances of Shirley, Colin, and Cece, or whatever her name is, traditionally, a man is before a woman in age, traditionally, with a majority of anime. And the thing is about this is that, that would have been great. No matter what Lelouch could do, Lelouch tries so hard to do everything. He tries so hard, but no matter what he does, he will never be previous to them. No matter how far he runs, he'll never follow that tradition. He just has to keep struggling on and on and on and on and on and on for all eternity, forever and ever and ever. He'll never be able to reach that. And it was an amazing thing to look up of that type of revelation. Those types of romances are so fascinating. No matter how hard you try, you'll never reach the there. But you got to keep trying. You've got to do it. You just got. That's just basically how it goes. And the sad part about this is that the Code Geass Wiki already changed this. It's already done. It turns out it wasn't the official thing. It's now 1999 December, not 2000 December, like it should have been. Because it's where he tries to stand up. Because when it comes to a man being older than a woman, it's the traditional value of the man like being like this thing that the woman looks up to, not the other way around. But Lelouch, like I looked up to Lelouch because of that. That was the number one thing I looked up to Lelouch about, and it was gone. It was taken away. It was just taken away, stripped away. It was a lie. So that's how I feel about Lelouch. It's all really a messed up story, really sad, but that's just how it goes. Bye, guys.